Anyways, let's move on to something that, well, it's not that much better, but
It's a remake of Child's Play.
it wishes it was anything like Child's Play. So we've got Robert from 2015. It's got this nanny who's fired from her job for essentially being a senile old bat. She forgets where all her cleaning stuff is, and she gets fired. But before she leaves, she gives a doll named Robert to the young boy of the family. And of course, there's something quite sinister about the doll. It starts hurting people and yada yada yada, whatever bullshit. Now, I mean, the cover art for this one, the tagline on it, at least the one that I've got on our website, says, "This isn't Child's Play." Like, damn well got that right. It is nowhere near as good as Child's Play. It's not even in the same stratosphere. It's just, it's not good. I mean, it's not anywhere near the worst movie I've ever seen by any means, but still, it's a bad movie. I believe it's based on a true story. There is like this real life Robert doll. Doesn't really look anything like this doll, but
It doesn't look anything like this doll.
yeah, it's not good.
So yeah, I think for most of the time I was somewhat bored with this one. It just kept going, and so some of the way they shot the scenes, there's some like really strange cuts in this movie. There's like this one, hey, I wonder what happened to the babysitter, and then there's like a flashback just to show the audience what happened, and it just, I didn't care for it. The whole style of the movie just seems sort of dry and generally pretty boring. The husband was a dick, but the wife was like insane, and the kid was annoying. There's not much good stuff in this movie. The design of the robot though is just, in my opinion, somewhat hideous. And even toward the end of this movie, when things start picking up a bit more, and there's even a slight twist at the end of the movie, which they stole from Halloween 4. So yeah, it's not a movie I found much pleasure in, and I guess I was okay with watching it once, but this is one I can't imagine seeing again. Nor can I imagine watching the sequels, of which there are 3.
Yeah. And, I mean, this is a pretty... obviously, a lot of horror movies are low budget. This one has a pretty low budget, from what you can see, based on the level of acting and the type of effects in the movie. I mean, every time you see the doll, if it's moving, it's moving because someone's kind of holding the doll with their hands strategically placed outside of view of the camera, but it's just kind of like someone's holding the doll and moving it around with their hand. It's when you compare that to something like you see in a Chucky movie where it's so much more intricate. They've got, more than 10 people trying to operate the Chucky doll. In this movie, it's someone just holding the doll by its legs, propping it around on the screen type of thing. Which, I mean, it works okay enough, but it's, like I said, it just... The effects and attention to detail with this doll is so much lacking compared to something like you'd get out of a Chucky movie.
Although I will say this is about the movie than Seed of Chucky.
No.
Yeah.
Your hatred for that movie is overshadowing a lot of things, and even Chucky just being in a movie is more entertaining than this piece of shit.
At least you got to see some nice family drama though. The father won about whether his son was gay or not, and some good stuff.
The wife actor, she's just it was just kind of frustrating for her because she's always. I watched this movie weeks ago, so maybe I've forgotten some of the finer details, but she always seems to. I mean, obviously she's got problems. She's depressed, and so that's a part of it. But it's just really annoying to see her on screen constantly having those breakdowns, and yeah.
I will say the whole lipstick scene just bothered me, in which the robot doll, I think writes "die" on her mirror, and then she's like rushing to get her husband to show him, and of course by the time they get back upstairs, it's gone, and just that type of cliches. I just get tired of that type of thing, and a lot of movies do it. The idea of, oh, hey, since it's not there now, it must never have been. You must be delusional. It just, oh god, I'm so over that.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a kind of twist cliffhanger type ending that we've seen that type of thing before. Like I said, that was kind of the mention that you had for Halloween 4, wasn't it?
Indeed.
It probably couldn't have ended any worse, but sorry, I mean, well, it could have and it couldn't have. By the time you got to the ending, you didn't really care how it ended, so.
Yeah, you just wanted it to be over.
Yeah, you just want it to be over.
As long as it ends, that's all that matters. And it looks like I was slightly mistaken. The movie actually has 4 sequels, because it looks like one came out earlier this year.
5 movies in this series, and the first movie's pretty bad itself.
Maybe the other 4 movies up it up a bit.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but...
I'm reading about the new one, named Rabbit Reborn. This is just quick plot on IMDb. In 1951 USSR, infamous killer doll Rabbit battles Talon's henchmen on board a plane.
That just sounds like... I mean, we've got the Puppet Master movies where they're like fighting like Nazis and shit.
I will say that I think some of those Puppet Master movies are actually pretty okay, though.
Yeah. But it just feels like a cheap clone or trying to copy what those other movies have done. And
yeah, and I'd say even the bad Puppet Master movies still were a bit fun. They still had a bit of charm to them. And maybe this series adds more charm, but in the first movie it just seemed more dry than anything. Would you like a rabbit doll yourself?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad movie. The acting's quite mediocre. The effects are not all that impressive. The doll's not impressive. It's a very unimpressive movie. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. By no means the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's not something that I care to watch again.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing about this movie is the fact that it's British, which didn't really help much because the movie itself was pretty horrible. It's something to watch in foreign movies. Adds a little bit extra, a little more spice, but this one is just, more than anything, it's just dry, it's boring, uninspired, and pretty much a piece of trash. So I'm going to throw this one maybe probably a 4 out of 10, if only because it was almost okay for a little bit. The first 10 minutes I thought was somewhat interesting, and I thought that old woman was such a a dick for hey, you fired me for this logical reason, let me give your kid a haunted doll. It's some quality cleaning lady stuff. So yeah, it's not a movie I would recommend, but if you do watch it, make sure you catch the 4 sequels.
I probably will watch the sequels, just...
Unfortunately, I would too, probably.
Yeah, but I certainly don't envision them being good. Maybe slightly better, but certainly not good.
Yeah, it looks like all of them are directed by the same guy too, so that's good stuff.
Well, hopefully he learns from his mistakes in this one and makes a less shittier movie.
Yeah, based on the IMDb ratings, I don't suspect that, but we can indeed be hopeful.